The first video. Stand on the feet and walk as usual. Now, walk slowly, slow enough you can recognize your way of walking, particularly the relationship between the leg and the hip joint. Where does the hip go when you lift a leg? Try to walk with the hip backward as you lift the leg. As you lift the knee, take the hip backward. When you lift the left knee, take the left hip backward. When you lift the right knee, take the right hip backward. Now, instead of backward, take it to the opposite direction. Try to walk with the hip forward as you lift the leg. Do you recognize the difference between the two ways? Try to do it alternately to make sure you know what you are doing. Lift a knee as you take the hip backward. Once again, try to walk with the hip backward as you lift the leg. Rest on the back. Stand on hands and knees. Lift the left knee and observe that the pelvis rotates. This is quite a simple movement. You lift the left leg and you find the left side of the hip goes away from the floor. Now, change over the legs. Lift the right knee from the floor. Leave it and rest on the back. You will see later this simple movement becomes a bit difficult to recognize when you do it in standing. Let me show you the movement we just did with the skeleton to clarify. Let's lift the left knee from the floor. You can see the pelvis rotates, like this. It is so simple and clear with the hip bent at about 90 degrees. Without intending to do so, the hip goes backward. However, as you straighten the hip and the knee as in standing, it gets a bit blurred or confusing as you will experience soon. The hip can go forward or backward. Stand on the knees. Lift the right knee from the floor once and then the left knee once. Lift legs alternately. Take the hip backward when you lift the knee. Leave it and rest on the back. Stand on the feet. Bend over in standing. Lift legs alternately, left and right leg, to observe the hip goes backward. When you lift the right leg, the right hip goes backward. When you lift the left leg, the left hip goes backward. Gradually straighten the upper body while lifting legs. Observe the hips still go backward. If you lift the upper body too much, the moment comes that the hip does not go backward and instead it goes forward. Lift the upper body no more than this point. Now walk like this and observe the hip goes backward when you lift each leg. Gradually walk as usual but still have the hips go backward. Now, try to put each foot on the floor with a bang. Try to make a big sound in this position. You will find it difficult because the toes lands first and the hip joint mitigates the shock. Try to take the hip forward when you lift the leg, and bang the foot on the floor. You can make a big bang now as the heel lands first. You just learned how to hurt the knee and the hip joints like this. Take the hip backward now. You walk quietly now, don't you? Continue to walk as usual while still taking the hip backward.